Welcome. Today we're going to talk about plasmoids, electron filaments, Lagrange points, solar wind, lasers, hyperspace, and probably some other stuff. Anyways, let's get started. First off, let's talk about plasmoids. A plasmoid is a plasma that is shaped like a coiling donut that is so dense scientists can't explain its exact mechanics. And for those who don't know what plasma is, it's the fourth state of matter, when a substance has been broken down to its base particles, in this case electrons. Back to the main topic. The plasmoid, being in a donut form, constantly spits itself out of the top of the donut, recycling that energy back through the bottom. Because scientists can't explain why it's so dense, that likely means the plasmoid is a higher dimensional entity that we can observe. That recycling motion it has makes it ideal for vortex or tornado thrust. Plasmoids are produced by a light laser colliding head-on with a beam of electrons. This can be produced in a lab or spaceship engine environment, but the reason we know about it is because it happens all throughout space. Due to light from stars spreading out and hitting magnetic strings of plasma naturally produced by fluctuations in space-time, we can emulate the plasmoid by directing fuel towards the front or top of our ship, which looks like a mushroom functioning like a hot air balloon. The fuel ejects at a 45-degree angle to create a vortex, which then pushes against the curve of the mushroom cap and becomes a vortex donut or plasmoid. Another way, or the more original way, to create a plasmoid for thrust is to use the same mushroom cap, but instead having a light laser stem to divide the fuel into a donut. The cap is secured to the ship by a skeleton frame. The stem laser shooting towards the back or bottom of the ship. This light, of course, is confronted directly by a cathode ray, which by using a sound laser collimates a beam of electrons and or a beam of ionized ejecting fuel plasma. The stem of laser light divides the beam of plasma fuel into a vortex donut or plasmoid, which, as I said before, bumps up against the mushroom cap, creating efficient thrust from multiple angles. To clarify, the mushroom cap is like a slice of a hollowed out bagel. Another option for using plasmoids as a means of travel is having that mushroom cap on the back of your ship, much like a conventional rocket nozzle. You use normal fuel to get up into space and align yourself with a naturally occurring plasma filament, and turn the laser on. You could create thrust without any onboard fuel supply, besides the battery that powers the laser. Or you manufacture a plasma filament by aligning yourself with solar winds and collimating the solar winds into the nozzle, while the light laser turns that collimated sun plasma into a plasmoid. If you don't know what solar winds are, they're basically the matter that the sun constantly spits out in the form of plasma or ionized vapor, which spreads to the outer reaches of the solar system. The system that collimates the solar wind is called CETUS, which stands for Coronal Ejection Toroid Upflow Sequencer. These plasma filaments are all throughout the universe. More specifically, these filaments are amplified by the equilibrium between magnetic fields. These equilibriums are called Lagrange points, meaning plasma filaments get amplified when they exist in between the Sun and Earth. To be clear, this is true for all orbiting bodies. So our entire solar system has a magnetic equilibrium between itself and the center of the Milky Way galaxy, as well as an equilibrium with close stars such as Alpha Centauri, Sirius, etc. This is where the idea of hyperspace comes into play. Light from the sun travels everywhere, which means that beams of light are hitting dead on with the plasma filaments strengthened by the equilibrium between stars, which produce a plasmoid. Remember earlier in the video when I explained how plasmoids are in a higher dimension? Well, if you're into sci-fi, you know that many sci-fi stories that involve hyperspace usually claim that hyperspace is a higher dimensional section of space-time, which allows your ship to travel at speeds that would in normal space turn your ship into X-rays, allowing you to reach other stars and galaxies in less than one Earth day. But that'll be all for this Earth Day. If you liked what you learned, share with your friends and family, and consider liking and subscribing to elevate this channel's presence in the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next Thursday.